In an age dominated by the conquests of Alexander the Great, one man looked not to empire, but to the edges of the known world. Pytheas of Massalia, a daring Greek navigator, sailed out of the familiar Mediterranean, circumnavigated the vast island of Britain, and ventured into the perilous, icy waters of the far north. He returned with tales of a land where the sun never set, a sea of frozen jellyfish, and a mysterious island he called Thule. But was he a brilliant explorer or a teller of tall tales? This is the incredible story of Pytheas, the ancient Greek who pushed the boundaries of exploration and described a world beyond imagination. Our journey begins around 325 BCE, not in the Hellenic heartland, but in Massalia, a prosperous Greek colony on the southern coast of Gaul, modern-day Marseille. Massalia was a vital trading hub, a gateway to the wild, untamed lands beyond the Mediterranean, and a rival to the powerful city of Carthage. In this era, the Mediterranean was the center of the known world. Beyond the Pillars of Hercules, the Strait of Gibraltar lay the vast, terrifying Atlantic Ocean, a realm of myth and uncertainty. Few Greeks dared to venture far into its waters, leaving the riches of the North tin from Britain, amber from the Baltic to be transported overland by a network of often hostile barbarian tribes. Pytheas was not just a sailor, he was a geographer, an astronomer, and a keen observer. Unlike the military expeditions of Alexander, Pytheas's journey was likely driven by scientific curiosity and perhaps Massalian commercial interests. Seeking direct access to the lucrative tin routes that stretched north to Britain, he had to navigate without reliable charts, facing unknown currents, tides, and weather patterns. It was a journey into almost complete geographical darkness, relying on stellar observations, dead reckoning, and an unshakable spirit of discovery. Pytheas's incredible journey began by sailing past the Pillars of Hercules, leaving the familiar blue of the Mediterranean for the vast, grey, and often tempestuous Atlantic. He navigated along the coasts of Hispania, Spain, and Gaul, France, encountering various Celtic tribes. His first major destination was Britain, which he called Pretonia, from which the modern name derives. He spent significant time exploring this island, documenting its geography, resources, and the customs of its inhabitants. His observations were remarkably accurate for his time. Pytheas accurately described Britain as a triangular island, and his calculation of its circumference, around 4,000 miles, was impressively close to the actual figure. He noted the abundance of tin mines in Cornwall and remarked on the climate and agricultural practices of the Britons. His detailed account of Britain would remain the primary source of information for the island for centuries, even influencing later Roman geographers like Ptolemy. Despite the skepticism of some of his contemporaries. But Pytheas was not content to stop there. He intended to sail even further north, into realms of pure myth and legend. From the bustling markets of Massalia to the tin mines of Britain, Pytheas had already achieved an extraordinary feat of exploration. But his most astonishing and controversial discoveries lay even further north, beyond the conventional boundaries of the known world. If this incredible tale of ancient exploration has captured your imagination, I invite you to consider subscribing to the Dusty Codex. Your support is essential in helping us bring these profound histories to light. Before we delve into the icy mysteries of Thule, I'm curious, what do you find more impressive, Pythias's precise geographical observations, or his sheer courage in facing the unknown Atlantic? Let me know in the quiet comments section below. Having circumnavigated Britain, Pythias pushed on, sailing 6 days north. This was truly the edge of the world for a Greek. He reached a mysterious land he called Thule. Historians debate its exact location, perhaps Norway, Iceland, or even the Faroe Islands, but what he described was undeniably the Arctic or subarctic. Here, he witnessed phenomena that astounded him and would astound anyone from the sunny Mediterranean. The land of the midnight sun, where the sun did not set for an extended period. An experience utterly alien to Greek cosmology. Even more bizarre was his description of the sea around Thule. He spoke of a sea where the air and water were indistinguishable, a frozen, viscous mass that resembled jellyfish. This was likely his attempt to describe pack ice, brush ice, and sea fog phenomena completely unknown to ancient Greek mariners. His accounts also included observations of the native people of Thule, describing them as hunters and gatherers who lived on fruit, roots, and millet, and made a drink from grain and honey. Pythias had ventured into a world utterly alien to the Mediterranean mind, a world that would remain largely unexplored for another 1,000 years. Despite the astounding nature of his journey and the accuracy of many of his observations, Pythias was often dismissed as a fabricator by later geographers. The most prominent skeptic was Strabo, a Roman geographer writing centuries later, who found Pythias's claims about the midnight sun and the icy seas simply too outlandish to believe. Strabo argued that a Greek, accustomed to the calm Mediterranean, could not have survived such a journey. He also found the descriptions of the extreme north to be inconsistent with known cosmology. The prevailing intellectual climate favored philosophical deductions over empirical, first-hand accounts, especially if those accounts defied common understanding. However, modern scholarship and scientific research have largely vindicated Pythias. His accurate calculations of Britain's circumference, his description of its tides, a phenomenon barely noticeable in the Mediterranean, and his vivid accounts of the midnight sun and sea ice all point to a genuine voyage into the far north. He was simply describing what he saw, phenomena that were entirely alien to the armchair geographers of the Mediterranean. Pythias was not a liar. He was a revolutionary explorer, centuries ahead of his time, whose true discoveries were simply too incredible for his contemporaries to accept. Pythias's original work on the ocean has been lost to history, known only through fragments quoted by later authors, mostly by his detractors. This loss is one of the great tragedies of ancient geography, as we can only imagine the full scope and detail of his observations. Despite the skepticism and the loss of his writings, Pythias stands as a monumental figure in the history of exploration. He pushed the boundaries of the known world further than any Greek before him, charting new lands and describing unknown phenomena. His journey remains a powerful testament to human curiosity, the courage to face the unknown, and the timeless quest to understand the vast, incredible world around us.